The exposition part of your story. It's the beginning. It's the part of the hero's journey between the status quo and the crossing of the first threshold. This is really where you are going to take some time to get your reader acquainted with all the necessary pieces of information that they'll need to be able to start the rising action, knowing what's going on, who's involved, where they're at, and set the table for everything and be ready to go. So in the first paragraph, you want to open in a way that's interesting. And in the previous video, it does kind of talk a little bit about maybe what your first paragraph might entail. But for this one, we're saying by the time you get to the end of page 1, because it's a 3-page story, so if you're not really getting into the rising action by the end of page 1, you need to get things going. I want you to consider during that first page, you need to do the following. 1, you have to at some point mention the theme directly. You need to state it somewhere, somehow. A character needs to bring it in. Needs to be in a text message that the character receives, sees it on the billboard, a quote they read someplace, wherever it is, that theme has to be directly stated in your story. 2, protagonist. Establish who that person is. 3, what conflict is that protagonist a part of? Keep in mind, the conflict is what teaches the protagonist the theme. So these are all tied together. And 4, you're going to really want to do a nice job of establishing the setting. And so make sure that you get into the details about where you're at, what time frame it is, not like how long, but more so like the era. So give some like characteristics so we know we're not in the Wild Wild West, or that we're on space, out in space somewhere. And so once you've established those 4 things, theme, conflict, protagonist, and setting, you're ready to get your story started. So take care of that in the first page, and you'll be off to the right start for your short story.